I asked Gemini 3 to code an Instagram clone and a raw physics engine, and it built them in seconds. It looked like the hand of coding. But look what happened when I asked for basic Excel math or a simple vision test. It didn't just fail, it straight up lead. Is this a genius or hallucination? I put it through 4 impossible challenges to find the truth. Let's test it. This looks exactly like Instagram. The stories animate, the feed is cruel, but I'm not on my phone. This is running directly inside Google AI Studio. I asked Gemini 3 to code the entire app in one go, using a prompt designed to break most AI models. Did it actually handle the logic, or is this just a pretty picture? Let's build it. Building a static website is easy, but the problem with LLMs is usually state management. If you ask for a working search bar and a live image uploader in a single file, the code usually turns into spaghetti. Therefore, I wrote a prompt that demands a senior full-stack engineer level of logic. I pasted in the prompt. I demanded working stories, a search filter, and the killer features, a functional upload button that renders image without a backend. I hit run. It started coding instantly. It didn't give me a lecture. It just went straight to the HTML and CSS. But I was watching the JavaScript closely. It had to write complex logic to handle the file upload locally in the browser memory. If it misses one event listener, the whole preview will fail. It finished. Now, normally I would have to copy the file, but here's the cool part. I just went up and hit the preview button right inside the interface. The UI loaded instantly. It looks clean. Therefore, I start stress testing. I click a story, the overlay popped up. I commented on a post and the comment posted instantly. But the upload button. I picked a file and there it is. It rendered it into the DOM instantly. It built a full interactive web app without me writing a single line of code, and I didn't even have to leave the tab. Gemini 3 crashed the UI challenge, but making things look pretty is different from handling complex math and logic. Can it replicate Microsoft Excel? I asked it to build a spreadsheet with a drag-to-autofill formulas, and you need to see how it handles the math. It looks like Excel, but watch what happened when I tried to do actual math. I tried out to fill a sequences of numbers and it completely failed. Gemini 3 built a beautiful interface in seconds, but the logic underneath? That's a different story. Visual coding is one thing, state management is another. I asked Gemini 3 to build a spreadsheet with complex features like incrementing number sequence and dynamic styling. But creating a grid where cell actually understand context is really hard. Therefore, I wanted to see if it could handle the logic or if it was just a pretty shell. I pasted the prompt asking for drag-to-autofill, borders, and basic formulas. It generated the code less than 2 minutes. Now, the preview window in AI Studio is way too small for a spreadsheet. So I copied the raw code, pasted it directly into VS Code, and launched it in full-size browser window to give it fair test. First, the design honestly, it's wonderful. The paragraph stylings are working properly. The bold, italic, and underline toggles are snappy. It did the same formula correctly. The font size control worked perfectly, and the color changing is instant. As a UI designer, Gemini is fantastic. It even creates the toolbars at the top. But here is where it broke. I typed 1 and 2, expecting the autofill to count up to 3 and 4. Instead, it just copied the value. It didn't understand the sequence. Then the bag started peeling up. I applied a border, which worked, but I couldn't remove it. It was stuck there forever. So, the verdict? Gemini 3 can build the look of complex app, but it's a struggle with the deep logic of a spreadsheet. Therefore, let's try something different. A spreadsheet or read, but what about a physics engine? Can it handle gravity and collision without crashing the browser? Watch what happens when I right click. They don't just sit there, they launch into the hair. This isn't a game engine. This is raw JavaScript physics coded by Gemini 3 in under a minute. Coding physics is pure calculus. The AI has to calculate gravity, mass, and collision for every single pixel without using any libraries. If the math is slightly off, the browser crashes. Let's see if it actually works. I asked for a rigid body physics engine with gravity, collision and mouse interactivity. It generated the code in about a minute, so I loaded it up full screen to test the limit. I started clicking. It actually randomizes the size big balls and small balls. Look at the gravity. They accelerate as they fall. And the collision? Perfect. They bounce off each other like real solid objects. Now for the interaction, I right click and boom. It applied an upward force to everything. It didn't exclude them outward, but it made them jump perfectly. The math is flawless. It crashed the physics math. But can it actually see? I shoot a hidden object puzzle and ask it to find a needle in a ice stack. The next one is surprising. Look at this mess. This is a hidden object puzzle designed to trick the human eye. Most AI models will just tell you this is a pile of junk. But can Gemini 3 actually find the needle in the ice stack? I don't just want a list of objects. I need precision. I ask it to find the racket, the bag, the balls, and the shoes. But crucially, I demanded it to tell me exactly where they are by referencing the objects touching them. If it is vague, it fails. I uploaded the puzzle and gave it a hit list. Locate the tennis racket, the jam bag, the cricket balls, and the shoes. It analyzed the pixel and gave me the coordinate list. Let's verify it. It sounded so confident. It said the racket was tucked behind the blue triangular ruler. It found the location, but the reference was wrong. It said the bag was below the white monitor. I looked, just random junk. For the shoes and the balls, its references completely wrong location. It was hallucinating object that didn't exist. These challenges prove that while Gemini 3 is an incredible architect that can build complex systems in seconds, it still lacks of common sense to verify its own work. So, use it to build the engine, but don't let it drive the code without you watching. Thank you for watching.